Welcome. Oh my goodness. What a show we have today. I'm super excited. Thank you everybody for hanging out and dealing with me during these challenging times, getting this sound together. But we here. We here.
Without words, the speech can't be heard. Without a voice, there's no flight for the bird. Without sound, it's just
Welcome to
left to be
Divine Living,
seen.
y'all.
Without them all, what does it mean? Use your voice, be the light of change. In this life, it's one is rearranged. Eight dimensions, they make us whole.
Divine living is food for the soul.
We rise, we grow, we claim what's ours. Personal growth and wellness showers.
Happy Saturday, everybody.
Occupational
I'm
dreams,
so happy to see y'all.
purpose and strive, finding balance in the work we provide, financial peace where abundance
Divine
flows,
living just
manage it
gives me
wisely,
peace.
watch as
I
it
hope it
grows,
gives y'all a little
social
peace too.
connection, love's embrace, we
This show
nurture bonds in
today,
vibrant space.
this month, this entire month,
Without words, the speech can't be
we
heard.
will be
Without
talking
a
about
voice, there's no
men's
flight for the bird.
wellness,
Without sound, it's just left to be seen. Without them
dedicating
all,
an
what does it
entire
mean?
month
Use your voice, be
to
the
the
light of
wellness
change.
of the
In
men
this
in
life,
our
it's one is
lives.
rearranged. Eight dimensions, they make us whole.
I'm super excited about the guests that I have today.
We claim what's
I have a
ours.
special introduction
Wellness showers.
coming through here today too.
Without words, what beings? Without a thing, but without a voice, there's no flight for the
Shoot,
bird.
what's
Without
going
sound,
on?
it's
Is
just left to
this
be
a different
seen.
page?
Without
I don't
them
know what you
all,
got
what
going
does
on,
it
man.
mean? Use your voice, be the light of
Oh
change.
God.
In this life, it's fun as rearrange. Eight dimensions, they
Um,
make us whole. Divine living, it's food for the soul. We rise, we grow, we claim what's
he threw me
ours.
off.
Personal growth and
Sorry.
wellness showers.
But we got a cool show this morning. Man, I'm just so happy about the people that are in my life.
Occupational dreams.
I hope y'all hear this song that's playing in the background. It's Divine Living.
Oh, crow, crow.
So we're talking about men's wellness. The men that I have
Occupational dreams.
as guests today have
Financials, they make us whole.
been a
Divine
part
living is
of
food for the
our,
soul. We rise, we grow,
well,
we
it's
claim what's
Veterans
ours.
Veterans
Personal growth
early
and
Veterans Day,
wellness
because I don't know if I'm going to actually do a show next week. I'm still debating what I'm going to do with my life next week. I'm super excited. My niece is having a baby, and I might dip off to this baby shower, or I might do something with the sorority. Either way, I'm going to be busy next week. I'm going to be busy next week. So there won't be a real Divine Living show. Um, I hope y'all heard what that's the end of that said. It said this is where you're meant to be, right? This is where you're meant to be. I got a special introduction today by New Label. If all my guests will request the box, we're going to get this show started. New Label will be, hopefully she's in here. We'll be doing our special introduction for today's show. My co-host is Yvonne. And then we have three other awesome men that are on the app talking about wellness and their military experience. New label.
Oh,
Hey, lady.
I'm over here again. I'm over here looking at the gifts and stuff. All right, all right. I'll play later. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Good morning to
So
you.
I wrote something for the show, a little bit of freestyling as well. So here it goes. Um, by the way, I'm New Label. I am doing the introductory for this show. So today we gather to pay tribute to the brave men and women who have selflessly serve our nation, defending our freedom and protecting our ways of life. Veterans Day is a time to reflect on courage, sacrifices, and dedication that our veterans have displayed in the faces of adversity. It is the day to express our gratitude and honor the story of those who have worn the uniform of our armed forces, whether they have served at home or abroad in these times of peace or in conflict. Those heroes have shown what is truly meant to be a patriot. As we commence this show, let us remember the sacrifices made not only by veterans themselves, but also those families who have stood by them through the toughest of time. Let us also acknowledge the ongoing commitment and the resilience of those who continue to serve the military, right? Um, let's see, what else did I write? And then I put, please join us as we salute our veteran celebration during this contribution for our country. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you also, New Label, for your service
Absolutely.
to our country. Um, Thank you for doing this introduction for this show today, too.
Absolutely. Thank
Y'all
you.
make sure y'all check out New Label right after my show for her show. Um, I'm doing a brain. Oh, she left. Self-made. Self-made. I almost forgot the name of her show. Check her out right after mine. Self-made. All right, let's get into this thing. Let's get in here. Well, I don't know where my co-host is. I don't know where my co-host is because uh I don't know where my. Oh, okay, there he is. Shoot, everybody waiting for you. What the? What the? What
Yeah,
the?
God thought I wasn't here. Good morning, beautiful rising, rich rising to the beautiful people. Salute to all branches. And in case you don't know me, you're not used to seeing me here. I am Yves Wallafla La Filet Dom Perignon.
Oh my goodness.
Listen, I speak life. I'm the host of Speak Life every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you could tap in. I understand if you want to watch football.
Hmm. Is that the end? You understand if you want to watch football? Now my team ain't playing.
Football, I
Uh,
understand. I will still pray for you. I will still do affirmations for you. Just make a request ahead of time. Say, hey, I want to watch my football. And I'll say, I got you.
all right, awesome, awesome. Thank you for coming and hanging out and being my co-host for this awesome show that we have today. So let's talk about just your initial experiences with wellness. You said your show and why that is important to you.
Oh, wellness is really the true wealth in life. I realized and seeing from real life experiences from time to time throughout my entire life that health is so important. Wellness is so important. But us as multi-dimensional beings, you can't have complete holistic health without like anything out of balance. This is why we have to balance our chakras, we have to balance our mental, our emotional, our spiritual, and understanding the differences between those. Once we come to balance and really come to true fruition within life, we operate at our best and we're able to enjoy life at our best when we are healthy, when we're in a healthy state of mind, when we're in a healthy state of belief and faith spiritually, when we're healthy and regulated within our central nervous system, our emotions, or we find contentment, right? A
Hmm.
lot of people don't have peace still today. I notice it's a lot of those who gain great profit, amazing people from all different walks of life, but there's still imbalances and struggles, inadequacies, and we see as the result of that suffering. So really, I really realized that I seen people that made an average income, for example, but they were I would see people that I worked with at my job, they're making tons of money, but they're at work every day. They look depressed. They don't look at their best. They're suffering eternally. So that's when I realized that health is truly is your wealth. You can't
I'm
really
loving
enjoy
it.
it to the
I'm
fullest.
loving that. We're going to take a dive into the wellness of amongst men and particularly our veterans today. With dealing with talking about the foundation of this show. Divine Living is brought to us by the 8 dimensions of wellness. If you're new to the show and never have heard of the 8 dimensions of wellness, let me run them down to you real quick. There's emotional, physical, intellectual, social, occupational, spiritual, environmental, and financial. All of those make up who we are. And when we take each dimension one by one, it's so much easier to conquer some of the things that we may be dealing with. So I'm going to bring our guest up. Um, y'all,
Yes.
here
Got
they
some
are.
special incarnations, some special people. Y'all in
They
for a
are.
treat. Began
They
the one and
are.
only, the extraterrestrial himself, my brother, Vibes. Big Vibes, not the little one.
What's going on, everybody?
And
Everybody.
salute, salute.
It's good.
And the one and only Big Cowboy Energy CD Takes.
Yes. Come on through with the
CD
hat.
Takes,
Come on through with the
Man
hat.
of
Come on,
Steel, my
CD.
brothers.
Yes.
What's good?
Uh,
What's good?
welcome, guys. Tell everybody who you are. I know y'all. I know y'all, but tell everybody else who they are because they might have been asleep for a while and didn't notice who y'all were.
Uh, well, if you don't know who I am, you're sleeping. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Big salute to everybody. Big salute to everybody. Hope everybody's well, man. It's a blessing to be here. Blessing to be above the ground. Constantly serving. The man above, and I'm great to be. I'm great to appreciate it. And I appreciate being on the panel with men like this, man. Stand up guys, and also thank you, Mr. Vaughn, for the humble opportunity. Thank you again. I'm Top Badge Vibes. I come honest. I come with integrity, and I come with the Honor family. Shout out to the Honor family in here and everybody that supports and to be supportive of each other. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just glad to be here. I'm blessed to be here for real, for real. Shout
Awesome.
out to
Thank you.
Man of Steel, CD Takes. Appreciate y'all. Yves, see you.
Absolutely. Well, man, it's still, I don't really be on here like I used to, but due to my Monday show, actually, I'm a co-host for CD show, me and Beautiful J, Monday morning coffee at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Talk about different things that can help you get your week started, finances, wisdom, visions, all those things. Every other day, you got to catch me when you catch me. Whenever I'm free to get on, I get on, or I'll do somebody's show. I'm doing Lex show on Monday night. But other than that, that's pretty much it for the most part. It ain't the way it used to be. So I get on when I can.
Thank you.
All right. Just call me Hats. All right. CD Tape. I have a show on Monday, as Mansell just mentioned. We co-host Morning Coffee, no sugar, no cream. On Thursdays, of course, Tip the Artist, just featuring one artist. It doesn't matter what your genre or what your talent is. That's every Thursday. And on Friday, of course, it's just an open stream. All my times are actually in my bio, so I try to keep that up to date so that I don't have to give you the long version. But it's here about the motivation and most importantly, the people, not
Yes.
the app, but again, the people.
Loving it. Loving it.
Salute to the
Um, yes. Salute to the people. Let's talk about your branch of service. Since this is a Veterans Day edition, um, I I try to do something towards our military each year, if it's Memorial Day or Veterans Day or just because my family has a lot to do with the military, and I attempted to enlist. Did I tell y'all that story?
No.
Yeah, I attempted to enlist. Look,
Mm.
y'all, during spring break, my senior year in high school, I decided that I was going to enlist in the army, and I didn't tell anybody. And I went to MEPS and got all the way through to the very end and disclosed that I had worn a heart monitor before. And they was like, "Oh, you need clearance," you know. Well, the clearance never happened because shortly thereafter, uh, Coco Fairy decided that she wanted to be a part of my life, and here I am, a mom, and
Always
not
causing trouble.
and not in the military. So that was my glimpse of being part of the military. Like, man, what a difference my life would have been, you know, what 30 days does. But yeah,
You put me here. You put me
but let's talk about it. Go ahead, guys. Not talk
here.
about me, talk about your stuff.
Just see me, Chase. You can go first, brother. It's okay. Y'all go first. It's all good. We got on the same
Um,
board.
well, let me say this. It was one of the most experiencing parts of my life. I'll be honest. I know there are the reasons that we go in and we either like or don't like, but it's funny you mentioned what could have happened. You know, me, I took an injury in high school, and it took me a year to recover from it. So for me, I was like, I don't care how many scholarship offers they got, they can have it. I'm going to join the Navy. And, 24 years later, I have to say it was one of the most experiencing things in life because of the number of people that I got to meet, the variation, the multitude, the different walks and beliefs, you understand, and yet how all those people can come together and operate as a single entity if needed, but still operate together as a family above and beyond all other things.
Yeah, for me, I mean, going into the army, I mean, I went in the army because I mean at that time minimum wage was like $5. You know what I mean? And you got tired of getting a check and buying a pair of shoes and you ain't had no more money. So
Mhm.
I was like, I ain't gonna keep doing this. You know, even going to college and then working two jobs and everything else. Then I was like, I wanted to travel. You know, I want to do a bunch of different things. So I was like, forget it. I'm just gonna go in the army. Actually, me and my best friend actually went. Um, he a lawyer now, but we went so we can get money for school and we can travel. You know, of course, he went an hour before me just to beat me with this, enlistment. But he's a fool. But you know what I mean. That's why I went. I went for the traveling. I went for the free college. I got a lot more than what I thought I was going to get. Going to war and everything. But you know, if I had to, I would do it again. That was the best experience I probably had in my life. Being in the military.
Yeah, I agree. Well, yeah, I agree with both of these gentlemen. Well, I've always been a hustler and I've always been a grinder, and I got a job early on in life when I was like 16 years old, working in a grocery store. I learned every single department it was because my mom would let me let me work during the week because the school was more important. So I would live here like I would work like three shifts on the weekends, triple shifts on the weekends, working every single department in the grocery store. And it's just like I just feel like it just wasn't conducive to where I wanted to go. I was in high school. I was in ROTC. All the men in my family were military, and everybody, I decided I was like, you know what, it's time to go, and I put it off for a whole entire year. Went to MEPS, went through the process, qualified. ASVAB score was really high, and I just like, but at the end of the day, I was getting ready to sign with the Marines. I was about to sign with the Marines. My my father and my uncle and all my people was like, hell no. You ain't going no Marines, though. He said, do us a favor, go sign with the Air Force. And that's the reason why I ended up with the Air Force 10 years. I'm an aircraft mechanic by trade, and then I merged into management and other things like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I mean, the person I am today, I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for the military. I mean, regardless of what you think about military, government, politics, all that good stuff, man, there's a certain level of respect we have for people that do what we do, and if you don't have respect for a person in the military, then you clearly don't love yourself because it's a selfless act of and a willingness that a person has to have to be able in order to do this type of make this type of decision for their life. It really is a sacrifice, and you're really giving up a lot of things. You miss your family, you miss everything. And again, I would say I'm gonna go with Man of Steel and City Takes. I joined for travel. I definitely
Yeah,
do it for travel. But here's the
yeah,
thing. My military career, I traveled, but it wasn't as much as I thought. I actually traveled more once I got out of the military because but my mind was open. You know what I'm saying? When military makes your mind open to understand that though it's a big world out here. it ain't just the United States of America. You understand, y'all? We see a lot of stuff in the military.
Yeah.
When you traveling, you see so much. So that's a little bit of my backstory. A little bit. I can tell you a whole lot more, and it's an exciting journey, man. I've been able to live in different countries. In the military, I was in
Mhm.
Korea. I was in the Caribbean for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Living there for a year. Just different places. And I met people from all different walks of life, which makes the reason why I'm very versatile and diverse in my approach and how I get to know people. So yeah, I
Yeah.
can go on forever, man. I could tell stories, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
But respect to
Awesome.
all the gentlemen for real.
I love hearing about just the travel part too. How you get to see so many different things, but you also get to meet so many different people. Um, can you talk about guys? Can you talk about like your social connections and just the role of military friendships, as well as civilian social networks?
Okay, I'll start this one.
Hey,
Okay, because I think some people don't can't understand your personality when you're a veteran, especially if you had certain types of training or you've been to combat. A lot of times you got to dial back some of that
yeah,
because they don't even understand that it's not anger. It's training. It looks like aggression. I have to dial that back a lot. You know what I mean? Because so many people get offended. But if I talk to another veteran, we're just having a conversation.
conversation.
We get it and we understand. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? And a lot of times it's hard for them to understand. Like, why you mad? I'm like, I'm not mad. What are you talking about? So talking to other veterans, we get it because when you go in the military, you don't fight for your branch. You fight for everybody you're next to. You don't fight for the branch. You're not out
Mhm.
there that's in a line of fire or taking a ID attack or a mortar attack. You're not doing it because I want to save the army. Okay, I'm dealing with the guy next to me, the woman next to me. We went to training together. We fight together. We drink together. We hang out together. We know each other's
Mhm.
family.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? These are the people you see every day. You'll see them more often than you see your family. So those are the people that you fight for, regardless of what branch that you in, because all of our branches are so important to one another. It doesn't work with all four of them. If you only got three, it doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we tease the Air Force. It don't work without the Air Force.
mhm. We
You
do.
ask me, bring the Air Force through and flatten all that. That way I don't gotta lose none of my soldiers. Flatten all that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's been a struggle. It works for me in business. But as far as social life, it's completely different because sometimes they'll think that you're so upset about something or you're too aggressive when you think you're just having a normal conversation. So for
Yeah,
business, it works for me. And then sometimes I have to dial it back, especially having daughters, because I got to be able to display my softer side in order to be able to handle their soft side. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? But this basic conversation, sometimes it's a strain on other people. You know what I mean? And a lot of times it pisses me off because I'm just like, where all these marshmallows come from? But anyway,
I'll say this. I'll say this real quick. It, in the adaptation of the act, when we look at the act, okay, military demeanor is different, man. We look at the act. When we look at the act, I'm sure CD Tates and Man of Steel can vouch for this, man. We don't really partake in the things that people partake in on here. Like we look at things differently, man. I feel like people they take things for granted. They really take things for granted. And we got people fighting for the freedoms that we got, on this app. We're able to do what we do on this app because of people like that fought like us. You know what I'm saying? So if you on here causing all this toxicity and all this drama and all that, we don't look at life like that. We look at life totally different. Being military definitely taught me some sense of discipline when it comes to my demeanor. I carry myself very confidently and very just governed in such a way. Now listen, I ain't got it all together. You know what I'm saying? I got potholes and stuff like that we working on, but at the same time, I still think the military mindset is definitely a different beast. It's definitely a different beast. We're able to carry ourselves through different hardship. These ain't hard scenarios on this app, but people be like, yo, it's toxic. It's hot. No, you haven't seen toxic, bro. You haven't seen. You
Mhm.
haven't seen. And I'm sure my Army brothers and my Navy brothers can probably, what I'm saying, can vouch for that for real because and Marines and I mean, it's just it's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts at one time. You gotta learn how to be a team. That's one reason why I created, the family on here. It's like, yo, I'm so used to working with a team. I'm like, let's keep it going. You know what I'm saying? But this is just to say, man, I respect that. When I see CD Takes and I see Men of Steel and I see men in the military, evolve. When I see people in the military, man, I just get excited, man. I still get excited. You know what I'm saying? And you see veterans on. You see people on here now serving right now, currently, and they be in uniforms. I was in a stream the other day, and it was Picasso. Picasso is currently in the Navy right now, and she gets on the stream in her uniform. I'm over here like excited. I'm excited for her because she's a firefighter. She's in the Navy. You know what I'm saying? But just to give y'all a backstory, yeah, that's. I mean, I really just enjoyed the experiences that I had, who made me who I am today. For real.
Awesome.
Hope
Love
that
it.
answers the question.
For me, it's the camaraderie. Whether you still serve, you understand actively, or you're not. You can find that camaraderie inside. You can find that camaraderie outside. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we look to build with people once we're no longer active in the military is we look for that family. And when you find people that work cohesively together in a bond and they operate as, man of steel, and even Bob's is saying, not for an individual, but for the enterprise, that is what you often want to be a part of is people that are, in a sense, they operate selflessly, and they don't mind doing what it takes to help everyone get where they are. That's one of the things I think the military does. It grooms and it gives you the opportunity to be a leader because everyone coming out of that won't necessarily become that leader, or it may happen later in life. One of the biggest things I love about the experience is the fact that it gives you a reflection in life when you're going through hard times. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you may be able to call up an old buddy or shipmate for me, and you know what I mean. Hey, matter of fact, I had an incident not too long ago. Man still knows about it. And someone thought, hey, they had lost a family member. The coolest thing is that I could pick up the phone and call one. And one of the most dynamic things I ever seen in the military was when I was going through my induction as a chief in the Navy. When I tell you, if something happened on the West Coast, if it happened in Japan, within literally minutes, not even always hours, you would know across the world what happened there. And we were going through induction, and something happened with some of the new chiefs at the time, the selects. And I'll never forget when that message came across, and I'm like, yo, how are they getting this information? That's how tight the bond is, you understand, when you need help or something is going on. So I picked up the phone, called. I had one of the probably next in line Master Chiefs of the Navy right at my fingertips, and other chiefs as well that stayed really tight when those community of bonds. And they were like, "Hey, just let me know. Just let me know." They were like, "I'm gonna get this information for you. Just let me know." I love that, but I love the fact that no longer even being actively in the military, that there are people here that understand that fellowship, that brotherhood or that sisterhood, and that's still that same type of bond. That's why some people connect so well on here. But it's also one of the things that makes us more than capable and very well able to connect with many other people.
Mm-hmm.
Loving it.
Yeah, yeah, I would say
Loving
yeah. And I'll say quickly about that situation. What's so amazing about that situation, that person is a veteran.
it.
And the first thing they did was call another veteran.
Yeah.
That's the very first thing they did. They didn't panic.
Mm-hmm.
And this was their, without saying anybody's name, this is their child.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't panic. They called another veteran. I said, let me see what I can do. Then I called another veteran. And then we got the answers. God willing, everything's fine. It was false information, but that's the first thing that they did. Because one thing that we learned in the military, regardless of what branch you in, is to be able to get things accomplished under pressure, to be able to handle things when it's the most uncomfortable.
Right.
That's what we learn the most because we understand that everything's not going to be sunshine and rainbows while you're trying to achieve your goal.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing we get trained to do. You'll get smoked even if you're doing the right thing, which is also another lesson. You could be penalized while you're doing the right thing. Well, give me 50 push-ups anyway. So so we understand that things are not going to always work out the way you plan for it to work out. You know what I'm saying? So I look at that and just say, you know, most people that are successful in business, if you look at the numbers, most of them has had some type of military experience.
Right.
Because we don't crack typically under pressure. We adapt to the pressure.
I agree.
You know what I mean? But I just wanted to say that as pertains to that particular situation. There was a veteran leaning on other veterans, and that veteran never met me in person.
Wow. That's awesome. That's more than a social network. Um, that's that's family. That's family for real.
You know, one of the
Um,
things that it takes me back. I love what Man of Steel was talking about. The first thing somebody said to me when I called them, they said, "Be careful. It might be a scam."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
wow. Wow.
that's how well informed, you know, veterans when they're actively, even though those that are still active when you're out and you have that connection with them, they're so abreast of information that we, you know, not necessarily being in that loop anymore, are up on. We can still be smart and know some things, but they're getting that ready information right then. And it's good to have that type of
I knew
connectivity in the world.
I knew I had gotten myself into a conundrum when I decided to invite the four of you on one show, because we ain't gonna get to anything. Uh, I got a whole outline out here. Like, what we gonna talk about? They gonna talk. They gonna
Yeah.
talk. But I want everybody to know where they are. Of course, this is Divine Living. I'm Miss Divine. Today's show kicks off Men's Wellness Month. I do want to kind of talk about how wellness impacts the 8 dimensions of wellness, of course, in your lives. I might just throw just different dimensions, not for everybody to share. I know y'all gonna have things to say about them all, but let's do one at a time. One person respond to just parts of the 8 dimensions, so we can at least cover. And then, if we have time at the end, we can have a more in-depth conversation. So we did talk a little about social wellness, and I love just how impactful the military has been in regards to just your social networking, your military friendships, and how it played a role in your life. So the other dimensions we have emotional, physical, intellectual, occupational, spiritual, and environmental. Pick one. Pick one. Y'all pick one. Don't make me
Social,
pick for. Okay,
social.
you already did social. We got to
Oh,
have a conversation on another one. What's the
oh,
next?
we're doing mental, right?
No,
Do
intellectual,
finance.
physical,
Environmental.
financial. Who's
Intellect.
going?
Let's do
Okay,
intellect.
okay.
Intellect.
Intellect. Vibes. You got to pick a different one.
I'll do
We
what's
got
give me another option?
environmental, spiritual,
We
occupational.
could do I'll do spiritual.
Okay, okay. So let's go with CD Tate first. Now, you picked intellectual, right?
No, I pick spiritual. Vibes
Oh,
pick intellect.
oh,
No, I'm joking.
what? I
Not
was like,
true.
that is not
Yeah.
how that went. That is not how that went.
We can go either way though.
No, let's stay there. First of all, let me say this. Never have considered myself to be an intellectual person in the first of all. Never even smart or anything of that in the room. You know, it's kind of like that scenario where you don't have to be the fastest person in the room, but just don't be the slowest. And to me, that's what it is. My thinking in the process of things is always trying to get an understanding. That's what's the most important to me. I understand that in some situations and scenarios that, you know, that's not always available to you to get the understanding. You have to make a decision. You have to make it as rational as you can with the information and whatever that you have. And that's kind of how we began to live in life. With as much as we understand, we make the best decision that we can. And that's why I always tell people, you'll never get the best of me when I do anything. You understand, you'll get a good version, you will get the best that I can give in that moment, but you will never get my best, simply because it is always the look to grow and to become better at whatever I do. And that's how the thought process, when you talk about intellect, you understand it's the reasoning, the understanding that goes behind it. But most importantly, how can I make whatever I have done that much better?
Mm.
Love it.
Mhm.
Love that. Yvonne, you've been up there a little silent.
Absolutely. I'm soaking in all the wisdom imparted. Again, this is Divine Living every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got my brother, the alien himself, Top Badge Vibes. We got Man of Steel, and we got CD Taste. And I want to tap in with something environmental. Environmental is a great deal. And by the way, I'm extraterrestrial police of the Space Force. Uh, so salute to all branches. But no, I'm a recruit, United States Navy out of California. You know, man, shout out Officer Petty Officer Crafton. However, our environmental is so important and it's so detrimental to our health. You know, I looked at the situation. What actually saved my life was running into a veteran. It was Vibes. You know, he was one of the first veterans I met. You know, into college. I was recruited first by the United States Army. I said I want to stay in college because it was somebody near and dear close to me that I felt they needed protection. If I'm not here, anything can happen to them. So I want to stand and meeting Vibes. Somehow when I got into a new environment around veterans, that's when things made sense. I got along with them, and people can stand me, other places, so I can identify with that. Where the misconception, the mishaps, the misunderstanding, they perceive it as aggression or whatever the case may be. But a lot of times, it's a certain way of communication that reflects discipline and performing under pressure because your life depends on it. With our experiences. So that camaraderie in that sense, and me coming from a military family, my grandfather, United States Navy, uncles, United States Navy, United States Army, I realized the pattern in how they perform. And that had a lot to do with environment. Your environmental conditioning plays a good part on your mental, emotional, all other factors of health. So a lot of times is that you putting yourself just in the right environment could give you an edge and an advantage in setting yourself in aligning yourself for success and whatever that you gear your mind towards. So just being in the right environment, like Man still was saying, like where that was giving him towards high levels of stress and performing under pressure that execute for success and leadership. Like, oh, go ahead and give me 50 push-ups anyway. You did everything right, but yeah, you under smoke with everybody else because it's helping everyone to move in unison, uniform. You know what I mean? And it's
Right.
preparing you for those situations to where all you have to depend on is your character. So I think that environmental is a heavy factor nowadays today. I realized this a long time ago, and that's why I kind of isolated myself and being around people like Vibes. That actually what kind of spared me from a lot of situations that a lot of my peers was suffering from. Whether it's death, prison, whatever the case. Just surrounding yourself with those type of minded individuals geared me towards bettering myself, geared me towards progression.
Awesome. Thank you. You give him the mic and he won't stop. Next person. Only because we
Nah,
run in short in time,
Yeah.
y'all. I want to
nah,
hear from everybody.
I agree with that in my topic. And quickly to say on that about the 50 push-ups, even if you do the right thing or not, and give you accountability for your team too, because
Hmm.
everybody has a battle buddy. One mess up, everybody mess up. So
Yep.
you have to care about the pieces that's around you, and they help one another. And the success
Mhm.
of one is success of everybody. But
Yeah.
I'll talk about finances real quick. Especially in these times or whatever the case. And I do a lot of financial stuff in my live when I do go live. You know, a lot of people, have a problem with their finances and everything else. And I would tell them it's not necessarily how much money you make, it's how you're allocating your funds.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because if you want financial health, it's going to be a long-term process. Financial health is not cooked in a microwave. So
Hmm.
Mm.
you're going to have to be able to actually save your money, make more, spend less, or make the same and spend less. Like I told somebody the other day, you're so close to at least six figures, you don't even know you're that close because of how you spending your money. It's only $274 on average every day to make 100,000 a year. I said you already make $210 every day,
Hmm.
Uber or something, to make up that other 60. So a lot of people, I guarantee if I sit down with most people, I can show them where they got money to invest. because they got
Mhm.
Hulu, they got NBA Pass, they got NFL Network, they got Netflix, they got all these different places that they spending about $300 a month on, and they sitting there watching other millionaires live their dream while they're
Mm.
suffering.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's why I stopped watching sports. The last football game I watched was Peyton Manning last Super Bowl
I'm
Wow.
with you on that
because it took so much time from what I was trying to do. So I said, until I become a financial peer, I'm not gonna watch it no more.
one.
Mm.
But it got to take a level of confidence and a level of commitment in order to actually get there. You know, high yield interest accounts, all those different things are very important to actually know. You know, I told a joke a few weeks ago on a Monday morning show. I said, there's so many people keep crying, save something for the baby.
Mhm.
Everybody's crying. You don't
Mm.
have to cry.
Mm.
You can make a change and get your life right, but you got to be willing to plant the seed, whether you're going to see the tree grow or not.
Mm.
Somebody has to plant it. And that's just where I'll leave it because I can do that for 3 hours. But
Mhm.
be willing to actually go through the long-term process. You know, stop worrying about so much how you feel. Stop trying to
Mhm.
feel better to do better. When you do better,
Mm.
you feel better.
Mhm.
Love it.
Man, it's hard to go after these two gentlemen. I ain't gonna lie
Mhm.
to you. After TD takes talk, and then here come Mr. Man of Steel, and then get E. I can't do it no more. I'm out. No, I'm just joking. We're gonna go into a little bit of spirituality when it comes to man. I'm gonna tell you like this. The best part of my life happened when I decided to be more, even more disciplined in the things that really were like taken away from my spirit. And that comes to sex. That comes to alcoholism. That comes to I haven't drank in so long. I don't remember the last drink I had. I mean, I dabble a little bit, be social, but I mean, I completely don't need alcohol in my life. You know what I'm saying? Because it affects my spirituality. It affects my peace. Sex. Abstinent, celibate for man some really good some time, more than 7 8 months now. So like it's like I deliver myself from that. I completely understand. I know one understands that the detoxing is it all encompasses your spirituality. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you understand the discipline you have to have as a man is even more important because especially being a black man. A black man is even more important. We got so many things of temptation. I'm like man, I still I haven't watched a football game because I can, but I just haven't because I live overseas. So you know, the football games are what they come on at 8 p.m. They probably go into the morning. I'm already in bed. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I haven't really partaken. I don't watch TV. This TV you see behind me right here, I use it for background. That's it. You know, but it's just it's all attached to spirituality. I'm able to get closer to God. I'm able to accomplish a lot more. You've already seen firsthand what the things we've accomplished in such a short time. In 6 months, you can accomplish so much different things. In one week, you accomplish so many different things. Just tap into God, man. Tap into whoever you pray to, higher power, higher spirit, whoever that person may be or that being may be. Keep tapping into that. You know what I'm saying? And get closer to that. I know that for sure. I know that telling y'all this to this day is that I was isolated for a reason. I left
Mm.
when Trump got into office. I left the country. Everybody thought I was like yeah, I'm out. But as soon as Trump got into office, I haven't been to the country in 7 years. You know what I'm saying? So I was isolated for a specific reason, and that was to be able to get closer to him and be able to tap more into myself. I had to be isolated from family, friends, everybody. Like I had no contact with nobody except for the phone. But to tap into your spirit is a sacrifice you must make. And like man, it still said, you gotta have discipline in with the decisions you make in your life, and make sure that you got to get rid of some things, and you got to get rid of those things that you like. Alcohol doesn't do nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? It absolutely doesn't do anything for me. So with that being said, just keep tapping to your spirit and understand you have a higher calling on your life, but you can't tap into your higher calling when you're busy recovering on Saturday from Friday night.
Mhm.
So that's what I say.
Yeah. Loving it. Loving it. Ah! Like this is like the speed round introduction to Men's Wellness Month. Thank you everybody for coming and hanging out with us and bringing Men's Wellness Month to our attention. November is Men's Wellness. I'm dedicating that this month to just that. Um, there's a couple of more dimensions that we didn't have like the full opportunity to really discuss, but I want to, before we go, They're the last two. Y'all know what the last two are? Y'all know. I'm gonna tell y'all because
Yeah, yeah, tell
y'all
us.
gonna
Yeah,
guess them right.
Occupational.
you just
Occupational.
occupation.
Men still's been around from the beginning. We got one more.
Did we say social?
We started the
We
We
round
started
with
started
with
with
social. We
social.
started
social.
with social.
Y'all
Oh,
y'all
okay.
like
Because
that
everything
social.
intertwined with social.
Y'all like that social. Man, it's
Yeah, people
still
crazy.
this is yours. I ain't
Right.
saying it's yours for real, but you be on our heads about this one.
I be on your head about so much stuff.
Did we do finance? He did
Yeah, he
financial.
he did
Uh
finance. Yeah,
huh.
You
Uh
get
huh.
finance.
Yeah,
He
I
did
did
finance.
finance.
What's the other
environmental.
one?
What's the other one you be on our heads about? And then you be like, I ain't gonna help y'all because y'all ain't gonna listen anyways.
Oh yeah, that's the main thing. Y'all don't listen. But I can't think of what the mention it is though.
Physical.
Oh, physical.
Physical.
Oh, the
Yes.
working out, the working out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
PTS.
He's like, I can write up the plan, but y'all ain't gonna do it.
That's
Y'all
why
ain't
that's
gonna
why I
do
stopped
it.
being a physical trainer. I stopped doing that. People don't listen, bro. For real. I got patience, but not for that one, bro.
Right.
Once a
It's like,
person don't listen to me, I'm out, bro.
Yeah, man.
what was the purpose of me doing all that work when you do
You know what I'm
nothing?
saying? Like for real.
Yes, yes.
You just be doing.
Environmental is a funny thing because it can be a whole bunch of different things. It can be, your consciousness of climate change, et cetera, et cetera. It can also be
Hmm.
the things that's around you and the people that you allow to be around you.
Right.
Because I always tell people, how can somebody run you hot if you set the thermostat? I don't get it.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that have issues with people on tag and I don't even know their real name.
Crazy. Ain't even touched their skin,
Man,
bro. Ain't even shook hands with
Yeah,
them.
make it make
I
sense.
don't I don't get it. That just tells me that you're too enamored with what other people are going to believe you are and the lies that you're trying to tell people, so they'll believe that rather than who you really are. You know
Crazy.
what I mean? So I'm just like, stop worrying about people. If you're not gonna ask this person for advice, why should you care about their criticism?
Mm,
Mm.
yeah.
You
Someone
wouldn't
said to
ask them
me,
for anything. Like I don't get it.
someone said to me, how you over there crying about somebody named Cotton Candy?
For real?
I wasn't really crying about him, but it's like, it's that's how it is though. You crying
Cotton,
about Cotton Candy,
cotton
you
candy hurt
know?
your feelings. Oh,
Yes,
Hey, when
yes.
if too much of your value come from online, then it will blur the line of reality and online.
for real.
Hmm.
For
You
real.
know what I mean? Because so many people go to online platforms to create their own value. You know what I mean? A lot of times you'll see that they're not happy because who they want you to believe they are doesn't match with who they really are.
Mm.
So a lot of times the facade that they put on, they start believing themselves. And then when they click in live and they look at their surroundings, they forced to live with their decisions.
House
Yeah.
dirty.
That's what happened during the pandemic. A lot of people was forced with the decisions that they made in their lives
Mm.
Mm.
because now you can't go nowhere.
Mm.
So now you
But
have to face it. You have to face that person you chose to marry. You have to
Yeah.
face how you've been neglecting or not raising your kids. You have to look
Hmm.
at your financial situation when you was going out every weekend and buying a bottle and all that every weekend. Now you have to face it.
mm.
Self-awareness is the biggest thing to me. I'm 100% responsible for my life. Period.
Mhm.
I don't care what nobody else do, how I react, and what I choose to do after that. It's all on me. So
Mhm.
I never have any regret because nobody forced me to do anything. I make everything as a sound decision, but I take the consequences of that decision.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm big on self awareness. Stop telling me that somebody else made you do something. They didn't. They
Mhm.
didn't. They gave you an excuse to do what you was already thinking.
That's
You know what?
Because it's easier to put that on somebody else for them to carry that burden than for you to do it. Most people can't be looking themselves in the mirror when they brush their teeth. They can't stand what they
mhm.
see.
That's one thing, man. Still to add to that real quick is that people always ask me, "Oh, they say, oh, Bob, you're so successful and you're very famous." I'm like, bro, if I go outside and tell somebody, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Bob's," make it make sense, bro. Like I'm not famous, man. Like, what are you talking
Yeah,
about? The biggest thing I did, they didn't ask me, well, what did you do? I'm like, biggest thing I did was be myself.
Hmm.
yeah.
Learn how to be yourself. You know what I'm saying? See, I guarantee you, look at C. Taste. He ain't afraid to be himself. Man, still he ain't afraid to be himself. Even while we had many talks for 4 hours, 6 hours on the phone. I kid you not, with my brother. Like, listen, let's stop. We ain't gotta be like nobody else, but everybody else is taken. I'm not here to be like Man of Steel. I'm not here to be like CD Takes. I'm here to be
Right.
like me. My name is Corey Goins. Originally, I know who I am. Feel me? I got my name on my Instagram. You can go look me up on any plug me in on any program. I ain't afraid to be me.
Mhm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't gotta go around being anything. Go ahead, CD.
I was just gonna say, leaving to those last two, the physical and I believe the environmental. The one thing is they are composed together, no matter how you look at it, because you choose. You understand whatever state that you're in, and the key word is state there. How and that's how you exist. That's the being that you are in whatever reality that you're in. You choose that, and you are the one who can change it whenever you don't like it. But if you don't like it and you're whining and crying about it, it's simply because you accept it and you choose it. So it's not until you get to the point of understanding your reality, and no different than who Corey Gaines said he knows who he is, you understand, that then you begin to exist in the way that you want to, and not the way that social forms and so forth are shaping you. That becomes your reality. Some of us are like silly putty, you understand. We can be pulled and shaped in any direction that somebody else wants us to. However, we have no shape or form of our own. And that's one of the biggest things that we have to learn to do in life, is to decide what our shape or what our form will look like as we move through this world.
Mm.
Yeah. Wow.
Well said.
Look,
Yes,
y'all,
and
this.
it's funny the synchronicity here, because I've seen signs of all of what they're telling, what they're saying and expressing earlier, earlier this morning. So they said, "What you're not changing, you're choosing."
Exactly.
I've
Well said.
seen that spoken this morning, and it was also a story of a gentleman who had a friend. He said, "Why are you always going out? Why are you always partying?" She was keeping herself busy to evade from her intrusive thoughts alone.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it's true, but man, it still says some people they're running away from themselves. So you're not going to feel that relief until you find comfort and confidence in your true nature and being you, being true to self. Because there's nothing else that you can do but be true to self and be you
Well,
as
if
you
you're not
evolve.
self-aware, if you're not self-aware, you can be running and taking the problem with you because you don't realize you're the problem. So it never changes because everywhere you go, you're gonna be there. You think you're running away from everybody else that you're trying to blame for all the issues in your life, and you're taking the problem with you. You're actually relieving those people because now they no longer have to hold the burden of all the things you put on them. So I always
Mm.
tell them check on your strong friends because they got to be there for everybody,
For real.
not just you.
Mm-hmm.
Real.
Hey,
Focus.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
one of the. I say I'm one of those people, man. My phone don't ring,
Yeah.
brother. My phone don't ring. You know what I'm saying? So most of the time, I'm holding on to a lot of things, and I'm harboring a lot of things. And you know what?
Mhm.
Fortunately, my military background and my spirituality is taking a hold of me, and it's like, you know what? I can do this. I got
Yeah.
to tell myself every day that I can do this, no matter if the phone ring, no matter if the phone ring or not, from family,
Mhm.
real family, or anybody, anything. It don't matter. At the end of the day, I gotta be with me. I gotta sit with me. I gotta deal with me,
Yeah.
and that's just the end of the day. And I know I can pick up a phone call and be like, I see the tapes. I gotta talk to my
Yeah.
son.
Yeah.
Man, it's still, and I want to do that. But you know how we are, man. Military men, we
Yeah.
just be like,
Yeah.
we can handle this. We can handle this. You know what I'm saying? The mental,
Mhm.
this ain't nothing. This all this over here in this, on the app, it ain't nothing, bro, compared to what we done been through. Like,
Oh
so
yeah.
it's like, the reality of struggling on the outside is way bigger than this minute. This is very minute. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Oh, man, some gumball droppers over there talk about me. Oh, man, for real?
Uh-huh.
For
Yeah.
real?
So
Come on,
true.
gumball drop. Come on now. Over
I'm
what?
gonna
I
hold
got.
it. I'm gonna hold it because I know you gotta do your
Oh,
close out.
smoke.
So I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it. I
Okay.
know you gotta do your close out.
Okay. Hold on. Let me close this out.
Can
I want to thank you all for coming and hanging out. Want to give you the opportunity, since this is November, and Men's Wellness. One line, not a story. One line to kick us off. Yes, one line, CD. Uh, to kick off this month from you, to encourage the people, um, and especially men on and off the app, uh, for this month of gratitude, this month of thoughtfulness. Be a little selfish and think of yourself. Your one line. Iwa?
one line
Not
to
a
kick off.
story. Not a
He
story.
was again. He don't know one line is. I'm telling you right now. It's
One
crazy.
line. That's just challenger for me.
He was-
Not a story.
I'm
Hmm,
gonna say whatever that you
right.
wish, choose for yourself. No doubt. No room for doubt. Choose yourself.
Thank you. I'm not gonna
Okay.
choose the next one. Y'all
All
go
right,
Oh,
all
ahead.
oh,
right.
go
Here,
ahead,
let me
CD.
do.
CD, go ahead, CD.
Yeah, let me do.
I'm waiting for you.
I would use a quote, but instead I use an analogy, I guess. Think of yourself as an onion, and remember that an onion has layers. Now the question is, which attention in that layer will you give attention to, or which
Mm,
part should I say?
Mm.
love it.
Okay. I would say new beginnings are often disguised as painful endings.
Wow. Okay, Minister.
I would say my one liner would probably be there's a difference between being a man and being a male.
Wow.
Choose yours.
Choose.
Don't be a gumball.
Don't be gumball drop.
Oh my goodness. Like this needs to be like a special episode for 2.5 hours. But I want to say thank you guys for coming in and being on this show, supporting me, Divine, um, in what I do. I know all four of you. If I came knocking on the door, y'all come helping me. And
Yes, Miss
I
Divine.
appreciate that for real. Because you can't find good support. You can't find good friends, and I feel good calling you all my friends. Um,
Yeah.
and I it ain't no secret, CD. It ain't no
I,
secret.
I'm looking forward to moving back to. I'm moving back to the states soon, and I look forward to meeting certain
Oh,
individuals. That's
I'm
one thing I do
excited.
look
I'm
forward
super excited. I'm
I,
super
I was
excited.
just, I was just going to say, think of something that Man of Steel said, and even Vibes just said, and they were talking about, checking on strong friends. I hope that nobody that is listening to this dream today does not take that to heart, because sometimes we hear things in passing
to.
and they just pass us. We don't hear it. But when somebody makes note of that, you can't take it that way. You sometimes you have to take it literal. And if a man says, something is not happening in his life, but he finds himself extending himself in so many places, that means I would appreciate it if somebody checked on me sometimes too.
Yeah,
Mm.
That's mental health. That's for real.
and I'll do better
Yeah,
with
Yeah.
salute to all the
everybody.
veterans, man.
I'll do better.
Salute to all the veterans, man. Appreciate y'all.
I'm gonna close out
Yeah.
with our
Same
words
here.
as I always do. Um, if you know me, this Miss Divine, you know that I always close with this. Without words, the speech cannot be heard. Without a voice, there's nothing to be said. Without sound, it's only left to be seen. And without them all, we're just beings without being a thing. Use your voice, use your words to be the light of change. Thank you, everybody, for this
No
episode
problem.
of Divine Living and kicking off Men's Wellness Month. It's been an awesome episode.